Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I'm sure you heard what my colleague Siphamandla Goge was saying, that at the centre of the divisions is a contestation for the throne, and he's concerned that the Zulu Royal Kingdom is in for some very troubling times. What is your sense?
Hi, Sally. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you very well.
Okay, great. Yes, personally, I'm an optimist by nature. I'm very comfortable that the Zulu Kingdom and Royal Monarchy will prevail, you know. At the moment, there are court cases that we cannot help, but we can just look forward to His Majesty getting better. He had a horrible, terrible flu, which he's recovering from. And once he's done, you know, getting better, he'll take control of this kingdom, you know. So for me, it's not end of the world, no.
All right, so that's a different perspective, and it's good to hear. I see you're also outside in a beautiful evening. It's making me quite jealous. So
I'm in the rural areas of Wildlange, so you should try come here sometime, Sally.
It looks absolutely gorgeous, I have to say. So
at the university, yes.
Mangosuthu Buthelezi is saying, you know, he was a little cross with what happened with these ritual huntings, that they happened without the designate king, because, as you say, he's been so sick. Is that seen as quite a serious insult, that some members of the royal family went ahead and had that hunting party without the king?
Okay, perhaps some, how do you say this? Perhaps some words are not accurate for the isiZulu language. In our language, we do not have a designate king. He is the Majesty, fully enthroned as our king. So the only thing that's outstanding is to have the officiated part that is done by government. However, he is our king. And traditionally, when a king passes on, 12 months later, but this time 3 months, you know, when His Majesty King Zwelithini said that the mourning period must be over, what happens is that there has to be Ihlambo, which is a hunting expedition, and then you come home with a wild animal that you then, you know, take care of, and you kill it, and you do all the traditional things. And then thereafter, you are very, very sure that the mourning period is over after doing traditional things. And like I'm saying, historically, the king, the new king, who would be king at that time, obviously after the father has passed on, is present, because he's the one who must have the spear, he must have the shield, he must have the Izagila, Nobkiriz, that must be given to him now officially. You understand? But it's never done without the heir.
Yeah.
So I can understand why the prince is perhaps very annoyed. But it's never happened before that process has happened without him. Moreover, you know, he's just incapacitated for a little while. He's getting better.
Sure.
So, yeah, I can understand why he was not happy.
You know, there are these court cases that are underway, and while, as you say, the issue of who is king is done and dusted, the reality is there are these challenges in the court, and we've also seen how the courts can change decisions that are made by the royal house. I mean, just recently we've seen with the Ingonyama Trust, and a court overturned that decision to charge people for leasing ancestral land. So it is a lucrative position. Let's make no bones about it. There's a lot of money at stake here. There's a lot of land at stake here. Do you really think that tradition will trump human nature? Because let's face it, when money is involved, we all can be tempted.
Sally, it sounds like you also want to try to become the Zulu king.
I haven't
It is
hoped.
very lucrative. But no, you see, let's not take things out of context. There is no way that the Zulu monarch is at stake, or His Majesty King Mr. Zwelithini's position is under challenge. Remember, everybody has now said bayete to him, and that is a stamp of approval. All Amakosi, over 300 of them, have gone to him, to Akanyela, to go and recognize him as such. All the processes that are traditional have been done to make him king of Amazulu. There is no way that the court of law can overturn it. Remember, the Zulu kingdom or monarchy is the only one that's protected by the constitution in South Africa. So there is no way that it can interfere with what is in place already. His Majesty is is in the throne, and everybody acknowledges that. Those who are taking the processes to court, I guess it's their right. But I personally do not believe that there's anything that's going to threaten his position, or by any means how vague it could be that it can be overturned. Because remember, processes that make him king have been taken care of traditionally, and all the people that matter to make him king are already have already acknowledged him as such, And talking about land, the land issue, this country today is it's on a tether. The Zulu are the only people in South Africa who have 3 million hectares of land called Ngoyama Trust, that His Majesty is the custodian thereof. That, again, is protected by the Constitution. People can dance, people can make threats. They cannot touch the land of the Zulu. It's not going to go away. In fact, what His Majesty, if I were him, I'd actually ask for more land, going up to King Shaga's borders, which go far, far beyond what we have today in the kingdom. So I don't think people should really worry about that. It's just talk, And remember, for the Zulu, you never, ever own land. You only got given land. You're a custodian. You've gotten the right to live there. Your children can live there. All your ancestors can stay there. But you cannot own what you cannot create, because our ancestors left the land for us. The greed around land came when the colonizers came. Remember, when I was doing my research for my book, I'd look for one palace, and suddenly it's across the river, suddenly it's across the mountain. It's because there was so much land, people moved around. Because you don't own land. Because whenever I used to ask them about that, I'm a township girl, so I want to know about land. They say, you cannot own what you can't take with you. You found it here, you're going to leave it here. Just take care of it, leave it, so your ancestors your descendants can also benefit. But we should just share the land nicely. Nobody should put a label. But unfortunately, the times had come to a point where the Zulu had at least, ring-fenced the land that is not up for discussion, which is the Ngoyama Trust land.
All right. Well, thank you so much for chatting to us this evening. We do appreciate it. That, of course, was Shalo Mbatha, Zulu Royal historian from the University of Zululand.